G'day, everyone, and welcome to another DUC Migrating to Australia podcast. Wes down here from the Down Under Centre, and I'm joined by Andre from Pets Abroad. So, Andre, welcome, buddy.
Yep, g'day. Thanks for having me, Wes, and everyone on the Down Under Centre.
No, you're very welcome, mate. You're actually a bit of a star. I think that yourself, Jenny, and probably PSS get mentioned in most of these podcasts that we do. So you're obviously getting quite a few animals. Like pets, I guess,
It,
over to
yeah,
Oz. So what we'll do, mate, I might just get crack straight into it before we start talking about the mighty pies and the sport and all the other stuff that
absolutely.
you miss. So,
Yeah,
mate, you're an Aussie. You got a big, strong Aussie accent, but you're currently based in the UK. So, how long have you been in the UK for now?
yeah. I think Kimberly and I moved over nearly 8 long years ago from Melbourne,
Yeah,
from the home of the Magpies, of course,
yeah, mighty
and
pies.
born and bred Melbourne boy. I'm a vet as well, so I went to vet school in Melbourne, and for a period of time, I worked for nearly 10 years at the quarantine centre as quarantine vet in Melbourne. It was a really good experience for me, and sort of opened me up to the world of pet travel that I really didn't understand previously. And then when Kimberly's from the UK, she's from London. So when we moved over here, we decided to live a little bit in Australia and then live a little bit over in the UK. But one day we'll head back. But when we came over here, we decided to start a pet travel company, just with the history that I had, and yeah, we really enjoy doing what we do. So
That's
at the moment, I'm a vet over here as well. I'm the company vet for Pets Abroad, owner of Pets Abroad, and an official vet as well. But with the history that I've got, it's a lot of fun helping people just get home. We enjoy it.
Well, you're helping one of our staff members, Shelley. You're helping her cat at the moment, and like I said, you
Mm.
you get a shout out at most of the podcasts we do. So, but that's unbelievable, mate. So, how many years have you been a vet for?
That would be revealing my age. Where's 30 years this year. I'm missing my 30-year reunion in Melbourne. I think next month it's going to be. So yeah, I wish I was home for that.
And what
Um,
made you become a vet?
Oh, I think it's the same story with all little kids that want to be vet. They love animals. I did, and I used to work in clinical practice for many years. Indeed, even owned a vet clinic over here in the UK for a little while. So just working with animals and really enjoy it. But then the exposure that I got through quarantine, I really enjoyed doing a different aspect of
Yep.
helping, providing some veterinary expertise behind people and their pet moves. It's
Yeah.
just a different way of doing it. But yeah, no, just loved being a vet all along.
Well, I guess if your partner's from the UK, you're an Aussie, and you're sort of moving between, and now you're settled in the UK, but no, you'll move back with the girls
One
in
day.
with your daughters back here. So, Kimberly, if you're listening to this, it's next year because me and Andre got to catch up. But mate, I remember one time when we were at one of the expos, you were telling us you actually have a pet kangaroo. I forgot
Yeah,
the name. What's the name of it? Sasha? No,
Faith.
Faith. Damn it, mate.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
were key.
Faith, back home in Australia, our place that we still have is up in the sort of central highlands of Victoria, near towards Ballarat. And we're on the back of the Wombat State Forest up there. And Faith's a rescue kangaroo, and she would come to my back door every day,
That's so
always
cool.
after a little bit of lovely bread and a cuddle, and then hop back into the bush like Skippy.
Jeez, I don't think the
Genuine
list.
story. You'll see the pictures on our Facebook page or Instagram page.
Oh, it's
100%.
real. It's real. Andre, the listeners
100%.
won't like when I say this, but I saw on the news yesterday that a kid actually got hurt by a kangaroo.
Yeah,
Uh,
they can get a little bit well aggressive, I guess, protective during their mating season. So that's probably coming up now. Springtime. So yeah, well, winter time, winter spring.
we
It's
should
the time to avoid them when they're out in their flocks.
we might just do this actually. So this is actually recorded on the 24th of the 10th, 2024. So All right, so Andre, you set up Pets Abroad. You got an amazing reputation in there. We've been working with you since day dot. You've got a good culture. You're getting heaps of dogs and cats and all sorts of animals over, which we'll talk about in a minute. But I understand there's potential changes that might be coming in from the 4th of November. Is that right? Is
That's
it?
yeah, absolutely correct. It's actually exciting news for people moving their pets
Oh, so it's a
over to
benefit.
Australia.
It's a favourable one for our
It's a
for clients.
for a change. Most things that happen with the Australian government, as most people
Correct.
know, generally never work in your favour. But we when I was in the quarantine vet in Melbourne, the quarantine used to be 30 days.
Yep.
Um, it then reduced down to 10 days and was 10 days for the whole time I've been in the UK up until about 18 months ago when they changed it back up to 30 days, unless you could get it's called microchip ID verification done. And it was a formal process that the UK couldn't find a system to work towards to the agreement of the Australian government for all of this time for the last 18 months. So pets had to do 30 days quarantine. But the UK government and the Australian government have finally agreed on a process. The process should be rolled out from the 4th of November, and pets will go back down to 10 days, provided they meet the certain clauses for the ID
And
verification.
and are
So
they
that's a
still?
positive thing.
Yeah, yeah. That's great news. And by memory, was it always Melbourne they have to quarantine you?
Back in my day, it used to be Melbourne was the one, Eastern Creek in Sydney, and it's just south of Perth in the suburbs. I think it's Byford, isn't it? Down south of Perth. And then they closed them all down and only opened up Melbourne. That's about the same time the quarantine rules changed again. There was a whole lot of quarantine rule changes. But yep, now it's only Melbourne, and we're going to be able to get 10 days quarantine, which is fantastic,
Sweet.
saving about £600 and 20 days quarantine for people. And that's a decision making. It's like a deal breaker for some people.
Yeah, for
So it's a
sure.
positive change. Yep, positive
Yeah,
change happening.
no, for sure, for sure. So it'd be pretty hard if you move into like I don't know WA or something like that, and you've got to come all the way to Melbourne and get your dog, for example, or is there systems in place for then the dog to be travelled up to WA, or do you find most people pick them up from Melbourne?
Absolutely, Wes. So when Kimberly and I set up Pets Abroad, we actually set up Pets Abroad as the UK office for an Australian pet travel company called Dog Tainers. So a lot of our clients will see that we refer to Dog Tainers. We're basically the UK office, and
Yeah,
our head office, in a sense, is based in Brisbane,
yeah,
and so we therefore use our offices all throughout Australia. So we've got offices in every capital city, and we can collect pets from Melbourne Quarantine. Our own internal office, our own internal staff will go and collect those pets from quarantine and fly them pretty much anywhere in Australia. So that's one of the unique things that I guess Pets Abroad can offer is a true seamless door to door service with no breaks. We're not handing pets over and then forgetting about what happens after Melbourne. We'll see it through right to their door on the beaches of northern Perth, or we've sent a couple of dogs up to Alice Springs, a couple of cats up to Darwin recently. And then obviously all the way up to Queensland, New South Wales coast is very popular. Same with Adelaide and even down to Hobart. So we're getting pets all across the country, and it's all within our own organisation in a sense.
let's um let's break it down for the listeners, mate. So let's pretend I've first step. I'm hypothetically speaking, I'm in London, mate, and I've got myself I don't know, let's say a border terrier, for example, and I'm looking to move to Australia. What's the process that you would advise someone to do, and how long before they actually decide that they're going to be flying, themselves as a family, the human family? Do they get in contact with you, and what's the process, mate, from start to finish?
Yeah, good. Yeah, good question. It is a timely process, an expensive process, and I guess most people's pet moves to Australia, unless you're an Australian citizen returning home and you've got family and friends who you can be flexible about timings. It is such a time sensitive process for people emigrating to Australia that they really need to look at this stuff well in advance, well more than 7 to 8 months in advance, because the minimum process will take 7 months. Um, it I guess what happens would be the first point of contact would be, say, a down under centre client would be referred to us or find us on your website, come through to us and tell us that they're looking to move to Australia in the next 6 to 24 months. If they're moving in the next 6 months, we got to act quickly. If they're moving in the next 24 months or in a time that's not quite determined but a little bit flexible, we've got a little bit of time to provide costs, a service plan, a time, and a basic timeline, and then work to that. And then obviously we usually keep in contact with our clients regarding visa grants and potential move dates or selling houses, that sort of thing. And if we need to change dates, we can do that down the road. But basically, Wes, we normally advise people to start the process when they think they're going to travel in the
Yep.
forward 7 to 12 months, because that keeps everything that they do from a veterinary perspective eligible. Rabies vaccine, rabies blood test, waiting the 6 months
But,
before they can
but
travel,
Andre,
booking all of the flights and quarantine, that sort of thing.
but you guys look after everything. So
We
if
do
I have
everything,
a dog, I don't have to like
absolutely everything.
contact Qantas and be like, "Hey, I've got."
No,
Yeah, you do all of that. So they contact you. You sort of give them a few dates, and there's obviously, I assume, the animals go through some sort of veterinary check and everything like that. Is that, do you personally do that, or they just go to their local vet and get injections? How does
yeah,
that work?
yeah. So I guess the initial contact would be, you've got your border terrier pup, and you're thinking of moving to Australia in October next year, and it's about 12 months away. And so the first thing that we'll do is provide you a quote, and the quote will be usually an all-inclusive quote, because we know that it gets really confusing, time sensitive. There's a lot going on when people are packing up their home, their lives. They don't want to be worried about details so close to travel. So we usually take care of that for them. So we'll give you a quote that's usually all inclusive and can be door to door. So if you're living in London and you're heading to, say, Perth, we'll give you a quote that would be from include home collection, the final vet visit, all of the vet liaison with me liaising directly with the client's vet, um, the flights, the crate, the vet work, import permit, the quarantine stay, and then, like I said earlier, our office in Melbourne to then collect from quarantine, fly to Perth. And if you want home delivery to your Perth home, not a problem. The process is a 7 month minimum process. So you've got to give us at least 7 months from the time when you decide, right, we're going, because the rabies vaccine must be done about a month prior to rabies blood test, which must be done about 6 months prior to travel. But in that 6 months is when we would organise your import permit, your quarantine stay, work the dates to suit your potential move. They can be changed. Set a vet plan, liaise with your vet, and then provide things in advance. Like some people want the crates in advance for crate training, that sort of thing.
Do
It's
they
a
do they reuse crates, Andre? Like, is that
We
common, or
do,
you just, yeah?
yeah, we do, because we do have that unique position in the pet travel world with between Australia, the UK, and New Zealand, incidentally, where we have offices. We've got an office in Auckland for those that are interested. Um, but we use hire crates between the three countries. So yeah, you don't even have to buy it. We can always hire it, and then it's if you're moving one way, there's no need for you to spend the money on a purchase crate. So yeah, absolutely, we can hire crates as well.
Okay. And do you, going back to those countries? So do you serve? So if someone had a pet in, I don't know, like a dog in America or China or something like that, do
Mm.
you do that, or you only do the countries where you have offices in?
We we have so we're part of the international pet travel community, and there's an organisation where we liaise and obviously make have good friends and trusted colleagues and partners that are part of the International Pet Travel Association. If you are based outside of the UK, we usually refer you to a good agent or a trusted agent in the
Gotcha.
various countries. So, yeah, we can facilitate it. We probably wouldn't get too involved, but we can certainly refer
Yeah.
clients that are based outside of the UK to good
What about
companies
Ireland? Do
that
you
I
cover
know are going to.
Ireland?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we
Yeah.
can cover Ireland. Ireland is a lot of the flights, say from Dublin, don't go direct either, or some of them don't. So we often collect pets from Ireland and fly them out of London or the UK as well. So there's a couple of options there. We can fly out of Dublin, but more
What?
options are generally available out of
But
the
what?
UK.
Okay, so you've sort of explained that journey, but what about for the pet itself? Like, what is it? I mean, obviously you're doing this all the time.
Yeah.
Do the pets shitting themselves? Do they get comforted? Do they like? Are they like? I don't know. Like it sounds. Can't
I
really
tell you,
explain to them they're moving to Oz. So how does it happen?
no, exactly. I tell you, I hate flying, Wes. One of the reasons why I'm still here is because I hate getting on an aeroplane.
Yeah.
Absolutely hate it. Pets don't know they're going to go on an aeroplane, of course. They don't like the crate so often, so we can do things like acclimatization with crates, getting crates sent to them in advance, maybe using some anti-anxiety medication for the anxious pets. And that's where me being a vet in our team, we've got a couple of vets and a couple of vet nurses on our team, by the way. So with whether it's me or somebody else liaising with you as a duck client, we would easily be able to provide that specific veterinary advice. But yeah, no, look, pets don't really know they're going to go on a plane. I think their biggest anxiety would be being put into a crate and then taken into an unnatural environment. And
But
then
what?
obviously you get on a flight and it's noisy and it's the same environmental conditions as you would experience on the main deck. You're going to have noise and turbulence and
Yeah.
um,
Limited seat access.
yeah, yeah. But different pets. There might be 20 or 30 pets on the Emirates flight into Melbourne
So they put
on
them all
any given
together,
morning.
Andre.
Yeah,
So they
yeah,
just
there'll
put them all
be.
next, so they can sort of just be. They all know that they're all going.
Yeah, that's
It's a bit
right.
like
But
Madagascar in the movie when the
yeah,
animals
it's the
go on the
same, or
plane.
Noah's Ark or something like that. But I
Yeah.
can tell you from my time at quarantine, in the 10 years I was there, I saw pretty much every pet that arrived. And within 2 to 3 days, nearly every single dog or cat gets used to the facility, the process,
Hey, we, Andre,
it, it,
we
they
so
settle down pretty quickly.
but we've had so many, like we've probably done about 50 odd podcasts now, mate, since the start of the year. And everyone we talk to that bring their dogs, all the dog beaches and all of that, they just, mate, they're just like, our dog is just living its best life. Like as
I
soon as the
loved
pup gets here, they just go nuts, mate. I can see why. Like it's
where's
obviously a
the
very outside
uh,
environment.
absolutely. The one thing that we love is finding out, we always tell people, and I love seeing these guys, there'll be clients in our office and they're going. It's an emotional thing for them. They're saying goodbye to their pet. They know they're not going to see their dog or cat for the next 10 or 30 days, whatever it is. And and they're a bit teary, and I'm like, the only thing we want to hear is, I just want to wake up to an email in about, in a month's time with your dog running on a beach in, southeast Queensland or wherever it is, and we do. People, our clients send them through to us, or if they're driving up the Hume, get me a picture of your dog at the dog on the tucker box.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm always asking people, because that's the one thing that really, it makes me homesick, but it also makes our team really see the enjoyment that people get. And we get pictures and videos of pets, at their new homes all of the time. And it's a good thing for us because we see the result of it. We enjoy helping, our whole team enjoy helping. And yeah, it's amazing to see,
What a what
they're living their best life.
Yeah, what an amazing tourist attraction that is as well, isn't it? That dog on the box, like the
Oh, it's
I've actually
awesome.
got a
Yeah.
photo of me next to it as well. When I was
Yeah.
traveling, I think most people who have traveled have got the dog that stood by his owner.
What it's fantastic. One of my favourite photos that we use was actually taken about 6 years ago. One of our first clients that we ever sent to Perth, and he drove across the Nullarbor and he took a picture of his dog at the Wave Rock. and we use
Oh,
that picture
nice.
in our marketing all the time. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's gold.
Yeah, they
Absolutely.
crossed into Nullarbor, then they went inland instead of going like Margaret River and going Albany, Esperance, and all that way. They've come well past Esperance, sorry. Anyway, yeah, they cut through Wave Rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's so good, mate. It's so good to travel. So okay, but so it's mentioned dogs and all that. What breed or so? Well, actually, we'll stick with dogs for the minute, Andre. Is there certain breeds of dogs that are no-nos coming to Australia?
Yeah, there is a restricted breed list on the Australian government website. They are pretty much fighting dogs. You know, they're not very common anyway. You know, I don't even know them all because I've never seen them. But the Brazilian fighting dogs, the Japanese fighting dogs, it's really limited to the 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 real hardcore fighting dogs and wolf and wolf
What about
cross
like
hybrids. That's it.
so like Dobermans,
No, not a
Rottweilers,
problem. Not a
Stats?
problem.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cool,
not a
awesome.
problem. You can bring pretty much anything into Australia as long as it's
What
not one of those
what about like
restricted breeds.
like is the cost of a dog like depending on the size and the weight or volume, or is it?
100%.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah, 100%. So you're to send at the moment to send a cat or a small dog, you know, under 10 kilos to Australia with all of the usual fees
Yeah,
for vet visits, crate permit, quarantine, you're going to spend about £4,000.
yeah,
But to send two Labradors or a Great Dane, that's going to cost you about eight to £10,000 or more,
yeah,
depending on size. Size and weight is really important. So when any client comes onto our website or is referred, we always ask for pet's weight and dimensions if they're dogs over 10 kilos, because those things affect cost. But there's a side to that, and that is we don't normally, how do I say, we don't normally like to put dogs in too small a crate. So our
no,
costs
horrible.
may not always be the cheapest because we don't always like to put dogs in a small crate just to get the cost right
Yeah,
so that we win a job. We're not interested in that. I've done that flight so many times, and you need a bit of comfort. So crate size is really important. Labradors for us doesn't matter if they're 20 kilos or 30
I
kilos.
don't
They
know.
all get the same size crate, and it does cost, but they got to be comfy.
So let's talk about the comfort. So if the dog's in the crate and it's going on a plane, we all love that great flight from the UK to Australia. Can they can the owners put like their smelly t-shirts or
Yes.
whatever in it and make it feel comfortable? Do they put like photos in it? I assume they don't get to watch like Lassie or another TV. They're going to get like a TV under there or anything like that. So yeah, can they
Maybe
do all
we
that
need to
stuff?
introduce televisions in their
Yeah,
crates.
just put a
Yeah,
bit of Netflix on for them.
we we always strongly advise for clients to send us either with some bedding or an old T-shirt or something that has got familiar smell. So whether it's the client smells or the dog's own bedding, that's usually really good idea to put that inside the crate for that journey. The journey, by the way, we haven't spoken about it yet, would be usually, say, London Heathrow to Dubai or London Heathrow to Doha on Qatar. And then there's usually always a transit stop of 12 hours roughly
Mhm.
between the two flights. You know, then obviously you've got Dubai or Doha straight into Melbourne. And that transit stop, they actually do get to come out of their crate, have a wee, you know, that sort of stuff, have some food. If they're on medication for any veterinary related issues, they can get medicated in transit. It's all regulated, government controlled, and airline controlled. So it's all very safe and secure, the transit, but they certainly get a rest in transit. So that's another good thing. But yeah, absolutely. Creature
And
comfort is very important because they're in a long journey.
yeah, for sure, for sure. And is there is it up to the owner's discretion if a pup's too young or a dog's too old to travel, or is that like up to the vet, or is it up to you guys as the organisation?
Yeah, so the earliest you can send a dog would be 10 months old, and that's
Hmm.
to satisfy the rabies protocol. So 12 weeks of age, and we often send puppies that are being bought or whatever. Um, So a puppy needs to be a minimum of 12 weeks of age to get a rabies vaccine. By the time they do the month later for blood tests and 6 months later for travel, 10 months would be the minimum. Oldest pets we've sent, pets are family. So we've had quite a few people saying, "You look, I know my cat. I think we sent a 17-year-old cat. We've sent plenty of 14-year-old dogs." Um, and they're making a decision that they know that that dog is probably not going to be, around for much longer after arrival, but their family and they're dedicated
Yep.
to it, and they stick to
Well,
it.
you got to.
As long as they're healthy, even if they're on medication for certain things like arthritis, diabetes, that sort of thing, we can facilitate that throughout the flight, throughout the transit, throughout the quarantine, and through to their arrival, whether it be Brisbane, Alice Springs, or wherever. We can accommodate all of that. Age isn't a barrier; it's health is the barrier.
Yep.
Um,
Okay.
Not a problem.
And we've spoken a lot about dogs and all that, and you mentioned cats. What other animals can people bring? I assume can you bring birds and all that?
No, it's about it. Where yeah, Australian government don't really allow anything other than dogs or cats.
What about
You know,
reptiles and stuff? No, they
no,
wouldn't allow that for
no,
sure.
not at all. Yeah, and it is a question that we get asked from time to time for rabbits, reptiles, and birds. Technically, you could probably bring a bird into Australia, but the rules are so stringent, and expensive. It's not practically possible. It would cost in excess of several $100,000 to organise the quarantine for that. Not practical for most people. Reptiles are banned. Most reptiles around there's we've obviously Australia's the land of reptiles, and there's a couple of diseases that our native wildlife don't have that do exist in um, reptiles around the world, and so they're banned completely, which is a problem for our zoos. They can't import new animals. And what was the other? Oh, rabbits. Now, if you've ever driven from New South Wales across the
Oh,
border
they're
into
everywhere. Yeah.
Queensland, you will see the big sign that says ownership of rabbits in the state of Queensland. You'll be subject to, I think it's $100,000 fine.
Yeah.
Rabbits are not welcome in Australia in any shape, way, or form. So,
No,
unfortunately, no, we can't send. You won't get a permit. We just can't send them. Sorry.
they build a
That's
big fence, mate, in Australia to
they
get the
built.
rabbits
Yeah,
out.
that's right. No, it's cats and dogs only.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So, all right, let's just before we wrap this up, mate. What about what advice would you give? So, a pet owner, you're thinking about doing it. What's the best advice you can give, mate?
Yeah, I guess just give yourself plenty of time. Understand that the costs are there, and it's really about just time, money, and being flexible to the time that your cat or dog will be eligible to travel. We are, always available. We've got a team now. When Kimberly and I started this, it was just the two of us. Now there's 20. So we've got a team of people here that are always available to help liaise with your vet, with yourself. If things need to change, we've got boarding facilities, we've got everything. So just being flexible, we can pretty much accommodate anything. But time, understanding the costs, and just being flexible.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, mate. Andre, that's you've been like so good to our clients, mate. I thank
Oh,
you
we
from
love
all
it.
of them
Yeah, we love it.
because yeah, the emotional side of migration. I got to remember. I always put that in every podcast, mate. It reflects to it, and most of the people that we had, we actually did a podcast yesterday. You might, yeah, you did. Anyway, like yeah, it was a parent visa, and you actually got their dog over as well. There you go. So,
Oh,
but
that's
mate,
cool.
thanks
It,
for everything that
what,
you do. And okay, go for it, mate.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Wes, it's personal. And I know that I've spoken to you about this.
Yep,
Between ourselves, it's personal. We
yep.
actually love. I just personally love helping people get to Australia because I love it.
No,
That's all
it's
it
good.
is.
It's mate.
So
That's
we put our heart into it.
I remember I actually remember the first time we chatted that I think it was at an expo in London. We
Yeah.
were like sort of looking over and we got sort of chatting. And we were like, oh, we might have a beer, maybe have a bit of a catch up. And I was just like amazed with. You're right. It is. It's a
That's
wonderful
all it is.
service that you guys have. It is. It's you yourself and Kimberly like are so down to earth. Like a vet looking after, it just makes sense, doesn't it? Like,
we love it.
you're a vet, you
Absolutely.
care for them, you've been in the quarantine industry, you know what works, you know what clients want, you know what the animals want. It's
And we know where they're going.
yeah, that's it. So,
Yeah, it's a lot of
but
fun.
Andre, can't wait to catch up with you in Oz or in the UK next time we catch up, mate. So, listeners, that's Andre from Pets Abroad. So, thanks heaps for making the time, mate, and
Thank you.
good work with these changes. And if you've got any queries, contact Pets Abroad. We'll I'm sure there'll be like a link and something on this podcast. So, what do you got planned for the rest of the day, Andre? Thursday daytime, mate, in the UK. What are you going to do?
Yeah, helping more people get home.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Wes. Thanks, everybody. And no, we look forward to it. Yeah, contact us anytime. Not a problem.
Cool. Awesome, guys. We'll catch you on the next podcast. Take care,
Good
everyone.
on you.
Catch you later.
Bye-bye.